Hello and welcome back to the channel. I am your hostess, Dana Lee, and tonight we are going to talk about the code of chivalry, what it means, and what we need to modify. I have rewritten the code from the medieval to omit the church stuff. So I hope you enjoy this reading and discussion. The Knight's Code of Chivalry. The Code. Rewritten for the modern Amazon warrior. Live to serve the Queen and country. Live to defend crown and country and all it holds dear. Live one's life so that it is worthy of respect and honor. Live for freedom, justice, and all that is good. Never attack an unarmed foe. Never use a weapon on an opponent not equal to the attack. Never attack from behind. Avoid lying to your fellow person. Avoid cheating. Avoid torture. Obey the law of queen, country, and chivalry. Administer justice. Protect the innocent. Exhibit self-control. Show respect to authority. Respect people. Exhibit courage in word and deed. Defend the weak and the innocent. Destroy evil in all of its monstrous forms. Crush the monsters that steal our land and rob our people. Fight with honor. Avenge the wrong. Never abandon a friend, ally, or noble cause. Fight for the ideals of queen, country, and chivalry. Die with valor. Always keep one's word of honor. Always maintain one's principles. Never betray a confidence or a comrade. Avoid deception. Respect life and freedom. Die with honor. Exhibit manners. Be polite and attentive. Be respectful of host, people, and honor. Loyalty to country, queen, honor, freedom, and the code of chivalry. Loyalty to one's friends and those who lay their trust in thee. Alrighty. Now then, what in the double-dyed hell did all that just mean? A lot of it is very simple to understand. You you live to serve your queen and your country. Now, since as Americans, anybody that walks up to us and tries to tell us that they're our queen, probably going to get shot in the face and then pissed on. Probably. If not laughed out of the room. It's going to be somewhere in that spectrum. But what that means to me is that you respect those that are in a position of authority over you. That's a big part of chivalry, is giving the proper respect to those who have higher station, let's call it, just to keep keep it simple. Live to serve your country. That doesn't necessarily mean you have to run off and join the military, although I do recommend it. Maybe not under current circumstances, but as a general rule, it is a good idea. Next line. Live to defend crown and country and all it holds dear. Again, we're Americans, so really there ain't a crown. We've had some presidents that acted like they were the king, but they're not the king. I mean, so we could take this to mean as Americans to uphold national interest. I think that would be the best way to put that. Live one's life so that it is worthy of respect and honor. That means to live in such a way as even your enemies have to admit that you're a decent person. Live for freedom, justice, and all that is good. Well, again, if you subscribe to the American ideal and the American ideology, you're already doing that. Never attack an unarmed foe. That's pretty self-explanatory. Don't go shooting somebody that ain't got a gun. Never use a weapon on an opponent not equal to attack. Again, don't bring a gun to a fist fight. And don't draw a sword in a fist fight. If you wind up having to defend yourself, try to do the least that you can do and still get out of the situation. A broken arm is a lesson. Never attack from behind. Oh, we could go for a lot of rounds on that one. While Sun Tzu would say, never attack if the enemy can see you coming, that is not the chivalrous way to do things. If you can attack from the front in the open, that's always the best. War isn't fair, but then nothing in life is, so we can show ourselves to be the stronger person by doing everything out in the open. Avoid lying to your fellow person. Yeah, I rewrote that line from from man to person, just to open it up a little bit more. Lying is a bad thing to begin with. It causes more trouble than it's worth. And to be a accomplished liar, you have to both be able to remember your lie and believe it. And there are too many people that can't do both, so try not to do either one. Avoid cheating. Again, that's the same as lying. Most people that I've run across can't bottom deal to save their life. So don't do it. Just don't cheat people. Cheating is bad. Avoid torture. The only thing I can say about that one is avoid torture unless you're in a BDSM setting and everything's consensual and you have the proper waivers signed. Obey the law of queen, country, and chivalry. Again, another pretty much self-explanatory one. Obey the rules that are set down in front of you. Doesn't mean that they don't bend. Doesn't mean they don't flex. But obey the law. Administer justice. That means be fair with people. If you're already not lying to them, not trying to cheat them, not trying to hurt them without their permission, then you're pretty much dealing with them fair. Protect the innocent. Now this is the one that's kind of got a little bit of my blood boiling here, because you turn on kids cartoons now and most of the jokes are written for a sexual being, which nobody under the age of 18 should even be entertaining that kind of notion anyway. That may be old-fashioned of me to say, but do what you can to not corrupt the young. It's really that simple. Destroy evil in all of its monstrous forms. Okay. What's that mean? It means that you stand for what's right, even when it's unpopular. Extreme example. You go walking down the path and you find yourself at a human sacrifice, and it's your moral duty to stop that kind of shit. There's no God on this earth anymore that requires human sacrifice. There's a reason for that. Crush the monsters that steal our land and rob our people. In my brain, when I read that, I'm hearing do everything you can to get in the way of the progressives and the liberals, but that's just my head. That's talking about invasion, matter of factly, but invasion seems to be the order of the day. You have to stand against it if you're going to be a knight. Fight with honor. Again. Honor is like integrity. Not pulling a gun on a dude that don't have a weapon. Keeping a fight skin for as long as possible. Don't argue with stupid or ignorant people, because honestly, in a battle of wits, that's the same thing as pulling a sword on somebody. Avenge the wrong means do whatever you can do to help people who have suffered some form of injustice. And we're not talking about imagined injustice. We're talking about the real thing here. Never abandon a friend, an ally, or noble cause. Well, pulling straight out of current headlines, don't pull an Afghanistan on somebody. Don't do it. We're already seeing what's happening over there. Do not abandon your people. Do not abandon your friends or the people that are giving you aid. And until the cause is truly lost, don't give up on your cause. Fight for the ideals of queen, country, and chivalry. That's kind of self-explanatory. Die with valor. There's a good one. It means die bravely. A warrior does not fear death, for death is but a release from this world. Who knows? You might even get to go to the next world and fight without having your wrists tied to your ankles. Always keep one's word of honor. You know what that means. Keep your vows. Keep your promises. Be stoic in this. Because you cannot have honor if you can't even keep your word. Always maintain one's principles. You know what your principles are. I'm not going to go try and tell you what they should be. But this is something else that you should probably take to your altar and do your math on it, as Sun Tzu would say. Never betray a confidence or a comrade. It comes back to what I was saying about don't pull an Afghanistan. Just don't do it. Don't betray people. Avoid deception. This one is very hard these days, I know. It doesn't pay to be fully transparent about what you're doing or any of that, but try to live in a non-deceptive manner. Sun Tzu said all war is deception, but we are trying to avoid going to war, I guess. So, avoid being a deceptive person until it comes to combat, and then the only honor is in victory. Respect life and freedom. That comes back to the live and let live kind of mentality. Or if you're as cynical as I am most of the time, live and let die. Either way, respect everything alive around you, even down to the grossest, hairiest little spider. The gods put him there for some reason. They just ain't told me yet. And I'm going to let him be. unless it gets on you. Die with honor means maintain your dignity at all costs. Just because you have a personal complaint, whether it's, oh hey, there's a hole in my chest, or my wrist hurts today. Don't make it everybody else's problem. Exhibit manners. It is always good to be mindful of your manners. Excuse me. Be polite and attentive. Again, that's just mind your manners. And when somebody's talking to you, pay attention. Life is not a video game, and most people do not like to repeat themselves. Excuse me again. Be respectful of host, people, and honor. This harkens back to the old pagan days where hospitality was expected, but in return for that hospitality, you were expected to return faith. And you should always respect other people. You make other people feel respected, and you'd be surprised at what they'll do for you. Loyalty to country, queen, honor, freedom, and the code. I think that's kind of self-explanatory after everything else we've talked about. Loyalty to one's friends and those who lay trust in thee. The worst betrayal that you can do is to break the trust of someone who is putting their life in your hands. So if someone actually and honestly is putting their trust in you, whether it's to bring in groceries or to do some other form of menial labor or to just living up to your word, like promising your little brother that you're going to take him to the zoo. This example is one that when me and my little brother were kids and we were living over in Talmo, I promised to take him to the zoo. And I went to Mom, and there was no way that they could afford to take us to the zoo, but I had promised Daniel that we would go. Do not make promises that you cannot keep yourself. You never know how they're going to screw up people. And we don't want to screw anybody up. Okay, that comes back around to the end of the list again. If you're paying attention, the code is pretty self-explanatory on its own. I hope that my illustrations and my metaphors helped explain it further. And if you liked this video, please click the like button, sub if you haven't subbed, and drop a comment below about what you're thinking. even if it's just to tell me that I'm full of crap. I would love to hear from you guys.